If you're watching this video, you're experiencing life with me, Ytlifewithayannab, and welcome to the experience. Right now, guys, I'm outside and I am at the park, and I'm really just decided to take this Saturday where I really didn't have anything to do other than get on a little conference call. And I really decided to just take this Saturday and reflect and just think and just have time to think, because I feel like I just want to talk about today about the blessing this quarantine has been, besides like all the people dying and people getting laid off from their jobs. And other than the downsides, there has been a lot of golden nuggets that this quarantine has showed me and introduced in my life. And I think I really do thank God for this, not for the pandemic and that is happening, that is killing people, but I thank God that it's given us the opportunity to reflect and have time to really reevaluate our life. So that is what I am recording today. I didn't write anything down, guys. I'm just talking off the dome, and it's kind of like a rant / discussion, so just bear with me. So the first thing this quarantine has taught me is, if you guys hear stuff in the back, I'm sorry, I'm outside. But if the first thing this quarantine has taught me is how much we schedule away our freedom. I remember before this whole pandemic happened, I was so busy all the time. I didn't have time to do the things that I genuinely wanted to do, because actually I did have the time. I just scheduled away my freedom. I intentionally did that. I voluntarily offered myself up, offered my freedom, offered my happiness, because I felt like it was things I had to do rather than doing things that I genuinely wanted to do. And I think that is a real golden nugget that this quarantine has made me realize, that it is time we stop scheduling our freedom away. It is time we really start saying yes to the things that we really want to do and no to the things that drain us, that can drain us emotionally. Because life is short, guys. I think sometimes we don't realize that at any moment we can be gone. And who wants to live a life just full of being a yes man, full of just doing things that make other people happy rather than really like filling your spiritual cup? To me, that's a waste of time. It's a waste of life. And I think the reason why I was doing that is because I was so stuck on people pleasing, and I really wanted to people please, and I wanted to say yes, like, yes, I'll do this for you, yes, I'll do that. But it's like, no, screw that. If you don't like my no, then that has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you. And I had to really dissect during this time, like, what's the worst that's going to happen if you say no? What, they're going to think of you a certain way? That's the worst they can do. The worst they can do is think. The worst they can do is not accept you. But I'm really learning how to let God's love be my anchor, and letting my love for myself be my, ooh, the sun is glistening, rather than I learned how to let my self-love be the anchor, rather than letting my peace and my happiness and my joy be dependent on people accepting me. Because if that was the case, then I would never be happy, because people are so wishy-washy. Another golden nugget that, just being in this pandemic has taught me is, I just feel like I need to start taking the time to do things that genuinely fill my cup. Like, the other point I said is I need to stop scheduling my freedom, but while I have the freedom, I need to start doing things that pour into me. So for example, I remember 2 days ago, I ordered some Wingstop. I DoorDashed some Wingstop, and I was watching TV. And after TV, I was like, okay, let me take a walk. Shout out to my dad who recommended. He's like, Yana, go take a walk. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Let me go really be in nature. And I was walking, and I was really enjoying myself while I was in nature. And I realized how much of a distraction TV has been, bro. Like, TV has been such a major distraction. If you're probably watching this, you're like, duh, TV is a distraction. But first, you gotta know me. Like, TV has always been my vice. TV has always been my fix. If I don't want to experience life, then I'll go to TV to, just help me, to distract me, to keep my mind off of things. But I realize while I have this freedom, I shouldn't be pouring it into things that does not feed into me. TV is just entertainment, and I'm not knocking anyone down who is trying to watch TV or spend their life. You do what you do. But my thing is, I want to live every day to the fullest. And I know that I'm being realistic. I know every day won't be, oh, it's going to be lit. Every day won't be so dope. But I do know that I want to be content in everything that I do. And I feel like TV doesn't replenish my energy. But what I do want to start using my freedom with is, when I do have the freedom, I want to start journaling more. I want to start reflecting more, like checking in on me. Like, how am I doing emotionally, physically, and spiritually? Because I tend to ask everybody else that, but sometimes I don't ask myself, Ayana, are you good? How are you doing emotionally, physically, and spiritually? And like, that's something, oh, my back. Ugh. That's something that I've noticed. So just using the free time I have to replenish my soul and do things that I generally love to do, and whether that be taking a walk, or whether that be journaling, or whether that be just listening to poetry and writing it, like stuff like that. The third thing, or just another thing that a golden nugget that quarantine has taught me or showed me is, or this pandemic has just made me realize, is my friends, like the people I hang around, I didn't really analyze how essential my friendships was. I was just, shout out to Miles Carter, I was just listening to a podcast and a poem, and he was talking about how as we get older, we kind of choose our friends for convenience rather than the real connection. And over this pandemic, I really been analyzing or assessing my relationships and my friendships, and I realized it's really important that you hang around people not just because they make you laugh or because they're just fun to be around, but you generally hang around people because they pour into you and you pour into them. You guys have a real connection, and that's why I'm learning not to force relationships as much. But allow the real, authentic, organic relationships to come to me. You feel me? I've been learning that. And realizing it's okay to not separate. It's okay to separate yourself from people. And I think I used to be scared to do that because that stemmed from a feeling like, oh my gosh, what if I hurt their feelings? But sometimes it's like, sometimes you got to get out your head and stop basing your actions off of the comfortability of other people. Because like I said, if you do that your whole life, then you're not going to be living, you're going to be living half the life. And that's my biggest fear. Well, that's not my biggest fear. Let me take that back. That's not my biggest fear, but that's one of many big fears that I have, is living a life that was based on making other people happy or pleasing them or making other people feel comfortable. No, screw that, because it's time I start honoring myself. I start honoring my needs and my wants and God's needs and God's wants. And sometimes that means I got to separate myself from people. I can't talk to you all the time because I know how you move. And that's not anything against you. It's just, it's really important that you're around people who kind of replenish your energy and help you vibrate on a certain wavelength. And yeah, that's y'all, I'm so excited because like these realizations I'm coming to, I wouldn't say I would have never came to them, but it would have been like probably later on when I had like more free time. I'm like the fourth point that I've realized is how important it is to develop a routine. How important intentionally living is. I think when I was still in school, I didn't schedule my day. I went with the flow. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but whenever I went with the flow and I didn't say, okay, I'm setting this much time for this and this much time for this, I kind of just let work consume me. So my day would be like, do homework for 4 hours and go to sleep, go to bed. I didn't really talk to my family a lot. And I'm like, what kind of life is that? Life's all about connections and experiences and relationships. And I'm not blaming like school. I'm low-key blaming the educational system, but I'm taking accountability. I chose to spend all of my free time doing work, and I'm really starting to understand the importance of intentionally living rather than, hey, I want to live a life full of peace. I want to live a life of doing things that I generally want to do. So that means, how am I going to map out my day? I'm going to only take 1 hour to do this rather than not really scheduling my day. And now I'm off the woodworks, and I hope y'all know what I'm trying to say. Just learning how to intentionally live and do things that I generally like to do. And that started off with waking up and developing a morning routine, whether that be journaling and writing and talking to God, and then going to sleep and developing a night routine where I'm starting and ending my day off, just doing things that replenish me. The fifth thing that I learned, or a golden nugget that quarantine has gave me, that God's given me, is I need to start being more present in the moment. I think that all of this is pointless if you're not being present. Like if if you're not, it doesn't matter how much free time you have. If you're always thinking about the future or the past, or you're never in the present moment, it's all pointless. And I think I've understand how important it is to be present and how important it is to slow down. I feel like sometimes we rush everything. Everything ends up being a means to an end. Like, for example, if I drink this water, I drink it quickly because my goal is to just feel replenished by the water rather than just really enjoying every sip and taking it in and feeling it go down my body. You feel me? And I feel like everything in society is a means to an end. We can never enjoy what we're doing in the moment. And I think and the reason why I never allowed myself to enjoy the moment is because I allowed myself to be conditioned by society that if we don't move quick enough, then something bad is going to happen. But no, it's not. Nothing bad is going to happen if we don't rush our day away. I feel like it would replenish us more. It would make us appreciate life more, to just really look and breathe and take it in and realize, y'all, we are here on earth. Like, I don't think y'all understand, bro. We are here on a planet, dog. We're here on a planet with different people who have different perspectives, belief system, and ideologies, with many different experiences, many different creatures having their own experience, and we don't understand how blessed we are, dog, to be here. Like, I'm really getting hyped up, y'all, because sometimes I feel like we become too negative and we adapt these pessimistic perspectives, and I'm like, for what? Like, there's so much to be in awe about. Like, look at that tree. Like, bro, what? That's a whole tree feeding me. Like, that's a whole tree helping me get oxygen. We are all interconnected. And I think that's another golden nugget that I learned. Is the 6th or 7th point, that it's time that I start appreciating all, not just humanity, but everything, and just being at one. You know, guys, there's so much I've learned. And I'm looking at this park, and even though, like, we're all social distancing, I'm finally seeing people just generally connecting and talking to people. Nobody is on their phone. I mean, one is, but nobody's on their phone. And I'm like, this is dope. This is so dope, dog. And I'm blessed to be here. And I know for everybody out there who's really struggling, going through depression and going through pain during these times, I'm not here to invalidate your feelings. I'm just here to offer you a new perspective. And it's time that we start training our minds. It's time we start unlearning societal expectations and standards placed on us, and we relearn how to have fun. We relearn how to be a child again, and pursue happiness and pursue joy, but learn how to be content with. Because sometimes I'm realizing that it's okay to not always be happy, though. Like, it's okay to not always be joyful, because emotions they're never consistent, okay? Your emotions are always fluctuating. So I'm learning how to be content in every state I am. So if I am sad or if I'm feeling down, that's okay. I'm not going to trap my emotions in, but I'm going to let the energy flow through me. You feel me? And I think that's another thing that I'm learning, to just be okay with the emotions I feel. It is okay to not be happy all the time. It is okay to not be sad all the time. It is okay to be irritated sometimes. The only thing is, just don't stay there. The only thing is, once you feel those feelings, assess it, let the energy flow through you, but really take the time to self-reflect on, okay, I feel this way. Why do I feel this way? How can I navigate through this? How can I embark on this journey of feelings? Self-reflection is so important, guys, because if we're not self-reflecting, we're going to fall into this trap that society wants us to blindly do things just because they were told of us, rather than us really thinking and listening. Do I actually want to do this? Is this actually fitting my soul? Is this something God actually wants me to do? And just listening. And guys, like, the experience has been so dope. Like, just being here and enjoying my own presence. I think somewhere along this, while I was in quarantine, I think I've been getting lonely sometimes, and that's okay. Sometimes feeling lonely is okay. And when I was self-reflecting, I was like, why? I think it's because I wanted that feeling of a relationship, and I haven't been in a relationship in a long time. And I think lately, and it's normal, as my bag is flying. Oh, my mask is on the floor. I need to get that. give you more. But let me pull my shirt up. Anyways, like I was saying, I think I found myself trying to like feeling lonely because I wanted the relationship feeling. But I'm also learning that how this generation, the reason why we get in these toxic and wrong relationships is because we go searching out of loneliness rather than us waiting for love to come to us while we are growing on ourselves and working on ourselves and trying to reach a certain level of fulfillment within ourselves without the person. I just don't understand why people would want an other half, like, oh, that's my other half. No, I want a person that is complete within themselves, and then I'm complete, and then they're one whole, and then I'm a whole and he's a whole, and then boom, we come together and we're just this one dope 2-1. I hope y'all know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying that even in the midst of the feelings of loneliness and desire of wanting another person, just learning how to be content with where you are in the moment and actually being honest with yourself, like, hey, I do want a relationship, and that is completely okay, but don't go searching for it just because out of a momentary feeling of loneliness or out of just a long period of loneliness. Don't go searching for it, but learning how to be comfortable with yourself, learning how to work on the ninks and crannies within yourself. Because trust me, once you get a relationship, all your flaws, everything inside of you that you want to change, it won't disappear once you find that person. You're just entering in that relationship with all the baggage that you're carrying. So while you're being single, while you're on your period of singleness, it's important that you just learn about yourself, kick it with yourself, have fun with yourself. So if that person may ever leave you, even though you'll feel sad, even though you'll feel hurt, you won't feel like your soul is leaving. You feel what I'm saying? Quality water. But anyways, oh my gosh, my pants is getting wet. Okay. Anyways, y'all, so that's my little rant on what has quarantine taught me. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video and you want other, rant videos like this, comment any videos. Come on, really, y'all, comment, because your girl is working out here and I don't just want to be posting content that y'all don't like. So comment any videos that you wish to see on this channel, and subscribe if you feeling me. Okay, just subscribe. Just subscribe. But all right, y'all, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Remember, I don't have any social media, but only YouTube is my only social media. So I'll enter my Gmail right here if you guys want to email me, contact me, ask me for advice, or just to talk. I'm here. So here is my little email right here, and that is it. Okay, bye guys. If you watch this video, you have experienced life with me, Ytlifewithayannab. I just forgot my own outro. If you're watching this video, If you're watching this video, you experience life with me, Ytlifewithayannab, and I'll catch you in the other video, in the other experience. I don't even know what I was doing with that. My bike just flew. But all right, y'all.